This motorcycle may have been named after the atomic bombs that ended the war. This motorcycle may have been one of the most iconic motorcycles ever to leave the production line. This iconic beast was once ridden by a robot that looked like a human from the future sent to the past to save a little boy. This is the Harley Davidson Fatboy and everything about it. Test driving everything and anything with two wheels to help you find your next bike. I'm Sean Kerr, and this is SRK Cycles. So just to clarify a few things, the Fatboy is of course a Harley Davidson. And the Harley Davidson family tree has multiple different categories. You've got the touring models, you've got the Sportsters, you've got the V-Rods, you've got the Dynas, you've got the Trikes, you've got the Streets, and then you have the Softails. The Fatboy falls into the Softail category, and for you to truly understand the Fatboy, you need to learn a little bit about the Softails. And here's where our story starts. The year is 1974, and a young entrepreneur and avid Harley Davidson rider from St. Louis named Bill Davis. Don't be alarmed that the name of the company is Harley Davidson, and the name is Bill Davis. This threw me off for about a week. The names are spelled and pronounced completely differently. There's no relation.
Unlikely, sir. They spell and pronounce their name differently.
The year is 1974, where we had a gasoline shortage created by the Arab oil embargo. In response to that, Congress set a national speed limit to 55 miles an hour and then repealed it in 1995. And while people were waiting in line to get gas for their vehicles, a man named Bill Davis is in his garage working on designing a completely new frame and suspension for his motorcycle. Very similar to the projects that I work on in my garage.
Oh, Denise, what's up?
He had a 1972 Harley Davidson Superglide, and I know it seems pretty crazy that he'd be chopping up and modifying a 2-year-old motorcycle, but back in the 70s, this was fairly normal practice. While many were turning their bikes into hardtails by removing the rear suspension, Bill wanted the look, but not the touch. As you can see from the picture of a 1972 Superglide, it needed some rear-end work anyway. It took over 2 years to design and build the first prototype, where the cantilever swing arm pivoted from the bottom of the frame and attached to the top, with the spring and shock hidden underneath the seat. After patenting the design, he went to speak with the man who designed his bike, the Superglide, the man, Willie G. In August of 1976, Bill and Willie met. Bill got the chance to show off his new design to Willie G. Willie G was pretty impressed with the design, but decided that he did not want to buy it. Now, as any entrepreneur would attest to, failure is part of the journey. Bill went back to his garage and continued perfecting his look like a hardtail, drive like a touring bike suspension design. This alteration created a triangular type swing arm where the traditional Harley Davidson oil tank can now be placed underneath the seat for a clean, fresh look. Now, Bill decided this time to take his design to the market himself, so he joined some partners and created the company Roadwork Sub Shocks. And they say that the only ship that does not sail is a partnership. And just like Mila Kunis and Macaulay Culkin's 9-year-long relationship, this partnership also does not last. Hold on, can we go back to that? Is that even possible? How does that even happen? This should give hope to every ugly-looking guy out there that miracles do happen. Now back to Harley Davidson. Possibly waiting for the perfect time to capitalize on a great idea at a great price, a Harley executive who later became the CEO of Harley Davidson made Bill an offer to sell the patents, the prototypes, the toolings, and the jigs. Now, although I cannot find out exactly how much he paid for those things, you gotta imagine that Bill's in a pretty rough spot. Willie G would not buy his design. He's tried to start his own company to sell it. That failed. Things are looking bad for him. So you gotta imagine he probably sold the stuff for pretty cheap. I'm sure Harley got a killer deal on it. But you gotta figure out that at this point in his life, he probably didn't have any other options. So with Harley owning the rights and everything to make it, the newest Harley is about to shake up the motorcycle industry forever. And in 1982, the name Softail will forever be troubling people, wondering how is it actually spelled? Is it with 2 T's? Is it with 1 T? Is it 1 word? Is it 2 words? I guess that looks right. That looks okay. Make it 3 words, I don't know. And 2 years later, they rolled out the production lines. Men needed to have them, women thought they could change them, fathers were proud, mothers were nervous, grandfathers didn't care, and grandmothers were still trying to find something to knit. In comes the Harley Davidson Softail. The 80s and 90s were tough on the American motorcycle company. The imports were coming out with some great bikes despite the high tariffs on all motorcycles over 699 cc's, which is why you don't see too many import motorcycles in America over 699 cc's. The tariffs were later lifted, but Harley Davidson needed to come up with something new, something fat, something just for boys, just like Bop It.
You blew it, my turn.
Once you get your hands on Bop It, you're not gonna want to stop.
And if you're wondering, they never let that girl play with the Bop It, even on the commercial. No girl has ever played with Bop It. It's actually not just for boys.
It's just such a relief to know that there's actually proof that this is happening.
I've said much more sexist things than that, actually. The frame of choice, of course, was a Softail for its comfortable ride and hardtail styling. But they needed something that stood out, something that screamed America. They needed to put the USA chant in the form of a motorcycle. They needed to take the essence of the American shotgun and put it in the form of a motorcycle. They needed to remind us of a time where we all worked together and got something done. Not only did they need to make it, but we as America needed it made. The Harley Davidson freaking Fatboy. God bless America. Designed once again by the man himself, Willie G. Davidson and Louis Natz, this design took 2 years from 1988 to 1989. And under extreme conditions, and once it was done, they did what all 20 to 50-year-old girls who have somehow lost most of their clothes do. They went to Daytona Bike Week, where the men get drunk, the women get drunk, and the motorcycles get drunk. The Fatboy, of course, was a big hit, with his big old fat front tire and everything. But did Harley Davidson accomplish what they set out to do? Create a bike that resonates with the American people, bring the feeling of patriotism and nostalgia from the first time that they set eyes on it? And the answer is yes. In 1990, the new Fatboy nailed it with its hardtail look and monochromatic silver paint job. Its silver powder-coated frame, unique logo, solid cast wheels, gently flared fenders, shotgun exhaust. It was the open road calling out to us again, with the Fatboy gently whispering, "Let's go have an adventure." Now, rumor has it that similarities of the Fatboy in name and style has too much connection with World War II and the B-9 and the B-29 bombers that dropped the 2 atomic bombs, named Fat Man and Little Boy. Fat Man, Little Boy. Fat Man, Little Boy, Fatboy. And if you're going with that logic, other names could have been Man Little, Man Boy, or my favorite, Fat Little. I'll take the 2018 Fat Little, and let's throw some new exhaust on it. When the Fatboy came out, it only came in one color, silver, just like the Enola Gay and the Boxcar, the B-29s who carried the A-bombs. Coincidence? I don't know. Some say that the Fatboy's trademark solid wheels resemble that of the B-92s. I don't really see that, considering the B-92's wheels aren't even solid wheels. Was the bike a tribute to the atomic bomb and the B-92s that delivered them? I really don't know. Maybe it was just an inspiration. I still don't know. And what's my wife's birthday? I don't know. What I do know is that you can't go back and change history just because the current political climate doesn't like it. The Harley Fatboy was never a tribute to killing tens of thousands of people, but it may have been a tribute to the vehicles that helped end World War II and saving billions of lives. A tribute to Americans teaming up for one common goal. And if you're gonna hate the Fatboy for that, then you have to hate these other things also. The Jeep, the Hummer, the internet, GPS, cargo pants, computers, EpiPens, duct tape, weather radar, silly putty, super glue, aviator sunglasses, and of course, the common household F-16 fighter jet. And to top all that stuff, doesn't the logo on the Fatboy look kind of military-ish anyway? The Fatboy maintained its same general styling for nearly 30 years. Although throughout the year the Fatboy has changed completely, it still managed to look like the same old Fatboy. When the Fatboy first came out, it was equipped with an 82 cubic inch Evolution motor and came only in one color, silver. And up until 2003, if you were trying to buy a Fatboy, you may be put on a 2-year waiting list to get it. In 2005, the Fatboy celebrated its 15th anniversary with a very rare limited edition Fatboy that actually had gold-plated emblems. And instead of the 88 cubic inch twin cam it was normally fitted with, it had a 95 cubic inch motor. In 2005 and 2006, the CVO blessed its presence around the Fatboy, rocking all the chrome in the book, and with an insane paint job and a CVO 103 cubic inch motor. And now you can get the Fatboy with a 114 cubic inch engine. Riding a Fatboy is like riding a cloud of thunder. And it will go down in history as being one of the greatest, most stylish, badass, in your face, but not too in your face, right up to your mom, but she's not gonna accept it, designs that the world has ever seen. If you have never had the pleasure of riding one, go to a test drive day, go borrow your buddies, go rent one, go buy one. The Harley Davidson Fatboy is an amazing motorcycle. And that's the Harley Davidson Fatboy and everything about it. We'll see you guys next week.